Good afternoon, students.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
A small recollection of what we learned yesterday for a few minutes. Then we'll try to move into the lesson completely and we shall try to complete the poem today. Yesterday we saw that John Keats says definition of beauty. According to him, a beautiful thing should give joy forever. Whenever you see it, its loveliness increases. And whenever you are relaxed, whenever you want to recollect, it is always in your memory. It never passes into nothingness. Then we saw nature is so beautiful that it keeps a calm and a quiet place for us somewhere where it gives us good sleep. The sleep is full of sweet dreams. It is a very healthy one and our breathing is very normal. It clearly shows that we are completely relaxed. Nature gives us complete relaxation. We are hale and healthy and we are able to sleep well with sweet dreams. Then we saw every day morning we get up with some simple problems in our lives. It need not be regular, maybe sometimes, not always. All right? So we need to understand that certain things are not always permanent. That is what John Keats says. Every day morning we get up, maybe there are a few complications. Today, 1 week we are fine, again something happens. But we are able to break it because it's only a wreath made of flowers. So we need not worry about it. It binds us to the earth. Still, we are safe and sound and everything goes on very well for us. Next, we saw that he generalizes a few common problems that we face in our day-to-day life. One is we lack hope, despondence. We do not come across people who have very good human qualities. Sometimes our days are very dull and gloomy. Sometimes we fall sick. And on a few days we just feel maybe we do not know what lies ahead for us. The paths are over darkened. We have dark ways in front of us. So we just find it difficult sometimes to know what exactly is going on there. Right? So these are some of the simple complications that we have in our everyday life. All right. But John Keats is always hopeful. He says there is a way out. Why to worry about all these day-to-day simple problems in our lives? We need not worry about any of those things. We can just push ahead and we can go ahead in all the ways possible. He says it is only a normal cover, a coating, which we can remove very easily. We need not worry about it. All right, in the previous class we stopped there. And he says there are three ways to get out of these complications, problems in our everyday lives. What is the first one? The first one is about nature. He just says, such the sun, the moon, trees old and young, sprouting a shady boon for simple sheep, and such are daffodils with the green world they live in, and green and clear rills that for themselves a cooling covert make against the hot season, the mid-forest brake, rich with a sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms. So till there, John Keats is very clear that he just wants to talk about a few important aspects. See, from the text we shall be able to see them very clearly. I am just showing you the text, I am sure you are able to see it. Such the sun, the last two lines in that page. Such the sun, the moon, trees old, young and old trees, sprouting a shady boon, a good shade they give for the simple sheep. They can go there and take rest. Such are the daffodils, the beautiful yellow flowers, which mesmerized once a great English poet with a green world they live in, beautiful contrasting colors, right? Green world, yellow flowers. Even we can close our eyes and imagine such a beautiful scene. The clear rills. Rills means small streams that run by, that for themselves a cooling covert make. See, when the small streams run, I'm sure many of you might have taken a walk sometimes in a hill station, on the main road, or somewhere inside when you go on a trekking. Sometimes we hear the flow of water. You just go near it, you find a small stream running, you follow the stream. After a few minutes, the stream disappears. That beautiful scene John Keats describes here. Because it is a very hot season, even the small streams, they want to make themselves a bit cool. We use air conditioned and air coolers and other things. Where will they go? Just they hide maybe under the rocks, under a small place, a cooling covert. Covert means a place to cover themselves, make against the hot season. It is a hot season, so the streams need some cooling. So you follow the stream, suddenly they disappear. Still you can hear the flow of the water. You just walk another few steps, again you can see them there. So in between, for a few feet or a few meters, they disappear. The reason is simply this. It's very hot. They themselves want to make a small cooling comfort for themselves. A beautiful description. It shows how much he had observed nature very closely. The mid-forest brake. Brake means ferns. See, the meaning is given here in the textbook. A thick mass of ferns that for themselves a cooling covert make against the hot season. The mid-forest brake, the beautiful ferns that are there, rich with a sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms. See, he describes the scene very beautifully there, right? The sun, the moon, young and old trees, giving beautiful shade to the simple sheep, the daffodils, the beautiful yellow flowers in a world of green, the free-flowing rills, cool themselves, cover themselves under something for some time. The beautiful different kinds of ferns. Amidst them, the musk rose blooms, right? Very beautiful scene. We need to understand, right, how great and excellent he has just described it. This is what? A few slides for you to think about it. The sun, the moon, and then we have young trees, old trees. Maybe this may form the young trees. They are simply growing now. The very old trees, the beautiful daffodils, the yellow flowers there, and the simple sheep. They are all excellent things to watch. John Keats loves watching them. It's a small stream that runs, right? They are in the hot sun sometimes they are in the cool shade. This is the brake, the ferns, the musk rose. This is the musk rose. You might have seen it in so many places. So these are some of the beautiful scenes that he loved to watch. So this is one. Nature is one thing that gives him a lot of comfort, joy, and so many other things. He says this nature helps him to come out of any of the problems he has in his life. Whenever he thinks about them, whenever he is in them, he forgets the world completely. That is what he says. The next one John Keats talks about is about the beautiful monuments and various other things that we have. See the next two lines he describes. And such too is the grandeur of the dooms we have imagined for the mighty dead. Here it may mean two things. See, very beautiful things. So many extraordinary wonders of the world, they are all graves of people. The great pyramids in Egypt, the Taj Mahal in India, both of them are considered to be wonders of the world. They were constructed in such grander way. Grander means something excellent, extraordinary to see and enjoy. But they are just graves. When we think about them, we think about the kings, the queens, the great pharaohs who lived at that time, right? That is what he talks about. When we see these beautiful monuments, extraordinary structures that are available in our world, it might be for anything, maybe for the mighty dead, the graves, the graveyard, the huge buildings that we construct. They are all something extraordinary to see. That is the meaning of grandeur. Right? And such too is the grandeur of the dooms. Dooms means more or less the end days, the ending of something. We have imagined for the mighty dead, or it may just mean beautiful monuments. Right? We need to understand how great and grand and extraordinary they are going to be. I just gave you two simple examples. We remember them. Whenever we see the Taj Mahal, we remember Shah Jahan, we remember Mumtaz Mahal. Whenever we see pyramids, we remember the pharaohs. Last year you learned about Tut, right? The Tutankhamun. So we remember all those mighty dead people. But they are all dead, but still we remember. Those extraordinary structures that we see, even in our own place, the extraordinary temples we have, right? The Hindu temples, the beautiful cathedrals abroad, especially in Italy and in so many places, the extraordinary mosques and other things in the Islam world, beautiful places of worship of the other religions. They are all extraordinary things. When we see them, we forget ourselves. But here he specifically talks about the monuments and various other things that we have imagined and built and constructed for the great warriors, kings and queens of our time. This is the second one. One is nature, and this is the second one he talks about. The third one, all lovely tales that we have heard or read. See, I will tell you, even now, in any film channel, English film channel, if the film Cinderella comes, I leave all my work, go and sit there. I am above 50 years old, but still I love watching that film. I love reading the fairy tales, Beauty and the Beast. Even the films are regularly shown in the English film channels. All right? Snow White and Seven Dwarfs, Sleeping Beauty. They are all extraordinary stories and films which even now I like to read and enjoy. Nowadays I can also watch those films because they are all made into films. That is the meaning of the tales. Tales means not just stories, they are all fairy tales. In our country we have Panchatantra stories, Aesop's fables. They are all very beautiful stories which we can enjoy reading at any time of our lives. That is what he says. Those things will make us forget all the problems we have. We need not worry about anything in this world. All lovely tales that we have heard are read. Those are the extraordinary things. So these three things, John Keats wants us to understand that nature, extraordinary monuments and buildings and other things we have imagined for the mighty dead, and also the beautiful tales. He gave examples, Panchatantra, right? Maybe Aesop's fables, the fairy tales, so many locally revolving stories, right, which you have heard from your grandparents, your parents, so many stories they tell, legends, right? We really enjoy them because they are all extraordinary stories. When we recollect them, when we read them, which you have heard or read, we really forget all the problems we have in our everyday lives. Finally, he immortalizes nature in the last two lines by giving us a beautiful image. What is nature and what do we get from them? See, an endless fountain of immortal drink pouring unto us from the heavens brink. Brink means edge. You simply imagine a fountain. You know what the fountain is. In beautiful cities, big cities, in important places, they have a lot of fountains. Water coming out through small holes. Sometimes we have musical fountains too, right? But here, what type of fountain it is? It is an endless fountain. From the endless fountain, what do we get? We get an immortal drink. See, we are all mortals. Gods are immortals. In English, we normally say gods have the gods drink. We call them nectar, nectar. In Tamil, I think it's called Amirdam or something, right? It is a special drink only for gods, which makes them immortal. We don't get those things. So, nature is like that. You drink anything you want from nature. That is, you be with nature today, tomorrow, after 10 years, after 100 years. Nature is immortal. It will give you complete satisfaction. It will pour to you anything you want. You will really enjoy the beauty of nature. An endless fountain of immortal drink pouring unto us from the heavens drink. It is not just a normal one. It is not a worldly one. No, nature is something, is a gift given to us from heaven. From the heaven's edge, you can simply see nature pouring on us, showering upon us every day. Beautiful things, extraordinary things, colorful things, sweet smelling things, big and small, in so many different varieties. Nature gives us enjoyment and joy forever. It is like an endless fountain, a fountain that never stops. What do we have in that fountain? We have an immortal drink. What is the drink? Drink is the nature. You take anything. We saw a lot of examples. Sun, moon, they are all celestial bodies. Maybe you include even stars, comets, whatever you feel like. Right? Then he comes down to the normal world, young and old trees, sheep, some animals, flower daffodils, streams, the water world, right? The ferns, different kinds of things, and another musk rose. We need to understand. Maybe these things are very common in the place he lived, so he was able to bring out a lot of things. So nature is an endless fountain of immortal drink pouring unto us from the heavens brink. Or just imagine you are there, above you there is heaven, from there everything is pouring onto you. Right? What is pouring? As I said, colorful, sweet smelling, fresh, everlasting, nature every day gives us joy. The joy is eternal joy, according to John Keats. The joy is a memorable one, which we cannot forget at any time. This is what he talks about in the poem, The King of Beauty, where he wants us to understand that beautiful things always give us extraordinary pleasure, right? They give us joy, they give us sweet memories, and they make us forget all our worries. So what else we have? We do have. See, I just took some pictures. Taj Mahal, Eiffel Tower, maybe the pyramids. This is the Red Fort in New Delhi. They are all extraordinary, stunning monuments which we can never forget in our lives. He says, we build them to remember the mighty people. We build them to show that we are all skilled people. We are all something great. People throng to visit the Eiffel Tower. Millions of them, millions of people come and visit the Taj Mahal. Millions visit the pyramids. Millions visit Niagara Falls. They are all nature monuments and extraordinary things. Not only them, he also told that something regarding the tales, right? See, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Sleeping Beauty, Beauty and the Beast, right? I spoke about Cinderella. Even now, I still remember in the film 2 scenes I like very much. One, how the fairy godmother comes and changes everything for Cinderella, and she is able to attend the dance party, the ball given by the prince, where he is to choose his wife. The next one, the clock strikes 12, she comes back, and again everything changes into normal. Extraordinary scenes they are, right? Even the glass slipper that was given to her by the fairy godmother, it is something extraordinary. I can never forget, even at this age, right? Even now I watch those films because those films make us forget everything. We are taken to a different world. We forget the real world in which we are living at present. All tales we have heard are that they are such extraordinary things that they come and satisfy us throughout our lives. Then finally, we saw the image, an endless fountain of immortal drink pouring unto us from heaven's drink. It is, nature is like an immortal drink. It pours us from an everlasting fountain. See the words there, endless, immortal. That is, there is no end for us, for them. There is no end for anything, for nature. It is there all the time, every time. Even if we try to damage it, even if we try to damage environment in any way, maybe the latest one, it simply sends on coronavirus, right? We are locked down inside. Throughout the world, we hear the good news. What is that? Nature is healing. We don't heal nature. Nature has to heal itself. That is what happens everywhere. A lion is wounded, tiger is wounded, maybe the birds, sometimes we take care of them. Nature heals them on their own. Nature is something superb. Nature is something extraordinary. We heard, even in yesterday's news, I heard that the Tamaravarni river in Tirunelveli is completely clean. The Ganges is running in an extraordinary clean way. In Venice, Venice is a city full of water inside, right? You have to travel only by a boat in Italy. Even fish has started coming in. In Bombay, dolphins are moving. In the river Ganges, dolphins are seen. So many extraordinary things are happening. We do not know whether they are true or not, how far they can swim and come inside, maybe in the edges near the sea. They are also happy, those things. They are all coming back, right? They are all beginning to feel that human beings are gone and this is our world. Nature is that, right? It's an endless fountain. We never feel bored observing nature. As I said in the beginning, whenever a summer vacation comes, we all rush to hill stations. That itself is a simple example that how beautiful nature is. We want to be in the mountains. We want to be in water. We want to be among the trees. We want to be in grasslands. We want to go for a flower show. But unfortunately, this year nothing is going to happen. But whatever it is, right? Things or something different. Nature is always wonderful, beautiful. It gives us an immortal drink we enjoy every day. It's an endless fountain and it is something like a great heaven for us. It simply pours on us every day. See, a rose flower is there in your garden. Today it blooms, evening it dies, tomorrow another one comes. That is immortal, right? Or not in your home, in your neighbor's home, another one comes. It never dies. Nature never dies. Even if we try, it comes back and helps us in a lot of ways. So that is what John Keats is trying to say. And I'll just summarize it in 2 to 3 minutes, all the important points, so that it will be easy for us to follow the coming classes. Number one, we saw the definition of beauty given by John Keats. That is according to him. For us, it may be completely different. We saw a thing of beauty is a joy forever according to him. Right? We saw its loveliness increases and it never passes into nothingness. That is his definition of poetry. Then he talks about a simple example of nature, how beautiful it is, how we can take refuge in nature. It gives us extraordinary health, right? It keeps us going, and all the things are fine and good for us in all the ways possible. Everything is extraordinary for us. Then he says, every day morning we get up with a flowery band around us. It's only a flowery band, we can break it. Every day morning we get up with these simple problems. Maybe today one, after 1 month another, or after 10 years another. Somewhere or the other we fall sick, we have dull days, right? We have gloomy days, and so many things go on as such. We need to understand it. But we can always escape from these. How can we escape? First one, he talks about the beauty of nature, the sun, the moon, the celestial bodies. They are all extraordinary. Every day you see the sun. I do not know whether you see it or not. Every day you try to see the moon now, at least during the lockdown period, right? Every day it looks extraordinary. It's something beautiful. They don't look the same. They don't appear the same. Young and old trees, the daffodils, the simple sheep, the rills, the small streams, the ferns, the musk rose, they are all extraordinary ones. The monuments we build for the mighty people, the tales that we have heard or read, all these three give us great joy. We forget our worries. And finally, nature is like an endless fountain. It has an immortal drink, and we can take it as much as we want, as long as we want. It is not going to dry up. Nature is something extraordinary in our lives. So that is what John Keats talks about. I'll just post this. You can copy it in a pen drive and keep it somewhere safe. Everything is going to be fine. There's a small exercise for you in the end, the last slide. You have to find out the meanings of these words and write them in some simple ones. No need to extend it to long sentences, right? Just some simple words in your own words from the dictionary. You can write it out. I'll post it today. You can just enjoy reading the poem and also watching the slides again if you feel like. Everything will be fine. So with that, I'll close the class today.